Do you feel like black men don't protect black women?
The women who are going to get the most likes are going to pop up on your feed the most. With the Andre 3000 in the Flute album, he let you know off the jump that you're going to get Flute.
What's up, everybody? I'm Marvelous.
And I'm not your average Joseph.
And we are the Podical Sons. So let's start the show. This show is hilariously intellectual. Hilariously inappropriate, but intellectual beyond belief. Like, comment, subscribe, all the above, all streaming platforms, Podical Sons Podcast. And you can see lovely face on YouTube and Spotify. So let's start the show. How you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling great, Marv. How you feeling?
Good. I'm about to go chill and see some peoples and stuff, whatever, my out-of-towner peoples.
Okay.
So that's going to add to the vibe and what brings me joy this week because I get to tap into some of my peoples and stuff I don't get to see that often.
Yeah.
And I think, again, you make time for the people that you, things and people that you love.
Right.
So making the time and stuff to go holler at them and stuff like that. One friend's, like one is going one way, another friend is going another way.
Right.
So we're all, combining forces and stuff, whatever, later today for that.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah. Like, man, this is what the world should be like a lot more, man. Like, get your tribe, enjoy your tribe, find your tribe. Yeah, and they add to your joy.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
They definitely do.
So that's what's bringing me joy this week. Now, what brought you joy this week?
I was downtown looking like a Mac.
Talk about it.
So one of my friends that comes by my workplace every now and then just to get rid of our skids. He's actually a promoter. So the funny thing is, shout out to Junior Jones. Junior Jones is a promoter in Toronto. The last event that I went to, me and wifey went out and we was just chilling. I was like, all I hear is, yo, what are you doing here? I turn around. It's dude that takes up my skids. By the way, he goes by the name Chong.
Okay.
So shout out to Chong. He's like, but it's funny enough, when I ran into him at work, he was telling me about some stuff that he was doing in Jamaica, like some like almost like a couples retreat type of deal.
Okay.
But it's more of like a package deal. So they have your itinerary already done, the Airbnb that you're gonna stay at, and it's just group activities, but it's just for couples. So he was telling me about that, and I said, "Yo, that's dope."
So it's kind of like a massive couples trip, so to speak.
Yeah,
but you don't have to know the couples.
You
You have to bring a boo.
Right, exactly. Right.
Okay.
So then I was like, oh, but I didn't realize he was like a promoter. So when he's seeing me at Junior Jones' event, he was like, "Oh, shoot! Well, you got to come to my parties." So I said, "Yeah, no doubt, I'll support." So the first one he invited me to, something came up and I wasn't able to go. No, sorry. He sent the Eventbrite email, but I never received it. So he's like, "Yo, you missed my party." I said, I didn't even know where it was. He goes, "I sent you the Eventbrite email." I go, "Maybe you sent it to the wrong email or something like that."
Right.
So he said, "You know what? Don't worry, the next time." So he sent me another invite. It's like, you know what? This is the second invite that you sent me. I'm gonna make sure that I show up, right? So
right.
I ended up going. Wifey wasn't feeling good, so she let me out of the house by myself, and I'm looking sharp as a tack. And I go downtown, and it's funny because I really don't go out that much, and unless it's somebody's event that I know, then I'll make the rounds.
Okay.
But I forgot like how nightlife really gets down in Toronto.
Talk about it.
So I parked just below King Street.
Okay.
Right? And then so I walked up to King Street, and as soon as I just got to where King Street is, it was like a sea of people. And I'm like, this is not any type of specific weekend, like a Caribana weekend. It's not no major holiday. This is just a typical
if it's warm enough in the weather and people outside, then yeah, that's
right. And I was like, and I forgot how
and that's not including events.
It's not including events. So I forgot how downtown got like that. And then I'm walking and I'm like, every three stores down was either a club or a bar. I'm like, oh shit, nightlife is really popping down here. So yeah, shout out. I enjoyed myself. You know, and I didn't stay too long, but stayed long enough to run into friend of the show, Aubrey Clark. He's been on he's been on one episode, but it was dope. So yeah, that brought me joy. And then just you know, getting regular business stuff started within the past week. You know, with dealing with that also just put a battery in my pack. Say, you know what, we doing some shit right now. Let's lock in, and that was it. That was it.
Yeah, most def. No, man, let's cook. Let's cook.
Let's cook.
Let's go. Let's get to the polls.
Let's get to the polls.
The polls. First poll of the week said, "Are there more bitter men or more bitter women now?" And what do you think the poll said?
I want to say bitter women.
Okay.
Yeah.
64% said bitter women. Let's talk about it. Why did you say bitter women? I can give you. Let me cook with the bitter men.
Okay,
aspect.
cook with the bitter men.
So it was you when you took shots at my peoples when I went to the barbershop. And I was telling you and stuff how like you know, one person said particularly like, yo, they're gonna fall back on women because these women don't know what they want and everything like that. You're like, move from those bitter men. Leave those bitter men alone. And I was like, ew.
It's so funny because just off of that fact alone,
yeah,
I'm like, they gotten bitter to the point where they're just not caring no more. So they're no longer bitter. They just don't care.
You think so?
I think so, man.
So okay, hold on. You think they're at a point where like, yo, they just don't care? I feel like they still will care.
Yeah.
Like, you think your hand can satisfy you? Like, I don't know.
No, okay. So, okay, no. I think they don't want to.
These guys are now buying these.
They're buying the toys. They're buying the toys. Okay. You know what I mean? The real dolls, the fluff butt, whatever. They're buying the toys.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like they're not choosing to lock into any specific. They're not trying to find the good girl no more. They'll go out and look for the hoe.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
So you think a good portion of single men out here looking for the hoe instead of a good woman?
Instead of the good woman?
No, man.
You disagree?
Yeah, I disagree with that. Whatever.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Go on Instagram and look at how much likes the thoughts get, and then look how much likes the goody good girls get. And the comments for both.
Okay, I'll do that. But I think I've seen a few.
Yeah.
And I look at it stuff as where, for me, I look at it stuff as like, in today's time, it's very hard to decipher the good girls from the bad girls. Because I look at it stuff as the good girls do the things that the bad girls like to do. So let's say if the bad girls and stuff, whatever, are the ones out here just twerking in the club, acting a fool, you're saying no good girls like to twerk.
No.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Twerk. And the bad girls and stuff, whatever, they're looking like, yo, all I can do is like probably twerk and do this, but I can cook.
Right.
So they do shit that some of the good girls do. So it's kind of hard to decipher who is who.
I don't know how much bad girls can cook.
You feel like no, you know, really. I don't know. I disagree. I feel like
I think if you grow with mom and mom let you or made you cook, then you cook. If mom cooked for you, there's not a lot of girls out there that know how to cook. There's not. To me, it's like a lost art.
Cooking.
Yeah. A lot of these women will be quick. Listen, man. Sorry, I don't want to speak for all you women, but I feel more women will spend more on takeout and Uber Eats and that than buying groceries.
I would say girls over women.
Yeah.
Because I feel like women and stuff that are come to a point like, I can't keep wasting my money on this shit.
Right.
I need to make sure to save some money, have some shit, stack some shit, whatever. A little girl who has no bills or no certain type of things and stuff to hover over would lean into shit that would drive them further.
Okay, so what would be your cutoff for the age of little girl, and then, or what you would consider?
If I'm going to give it an age, I would say 30 plus.
30 plus?
I would say 30 plus. Because I would say 30 plus by then, like the woman and stuff, whatever, probably had to get like cultivated
Right.
with that world.
Right.
But I don't want to put an age on it because it's a level of just more maturity.
Yeah.
Because I look at it as if you can have a young woman who's very mature enough to know for a fact that this shit is eating in my dollars.
Right, right.
I might not be able to buy the Birkins or whatever the fuck if I keep doing Skip and Uber Eats and all this type of stuff as well as partying and twerking.
You have faith. I'm holding on to my wife for dear life.
Clearly, I'm not bitter, ladies.
I'm holding on to my wife for dear life.
I am not bitter. I am not bitter. Just putting that out there. I'm not one of the bitter men. Now tell me why the bitter women now.
Why the bitter women?
Yeah, like why is there more bitter women out here?
Because they feel like they can't find no good men.
Do you feel like it's a do you feel like it's a cesspool, not a dating pool, but a cesspool of people just constantly saying they can't find good men, can't find good women, and women can't find good men?
No, I think it's a total disconnect of people not realizing that that both of those things are out there, and that they just keep running into the wrong type of people that they give up hope. Like there's no way you can't tell me that there's no good men out there. Maybe you're not looking in the right place to find the good men. There's no way you can tell me that there's no good women out there. Maybe you're not looking in the right place to find that good woman.
Right.
Right? I mean, y'all might have to go back to like going to the library or something. I don't know what it is, but if you're looking for them on the internet, that's a losing cause.
But okay, and so now with people being the people that they are and stuff in today's times, right? They're plugged into their devices and stuff like that at an all-time high.
Yeah.
If, let's say, for example, I'm single, right? I don't know if said woman over there might be single.
Right.
But I just look and stuff, whatever that like, I might find her attractive. But because I'm so plugged into my device, I rather look on Tinder to kind of get confirmation if she might possibly be single.
See, I'm still, and that's, because I'm still from the old school era where I'm not going to go to Tinder. I'm going to ask you.
Right.
I'm just going to ask you. Right? And if you're single, then, we'll walk on it. If you're lying about being single, at some point, I'm hoping this lie will expose itself and then I'll move the hell on, right? But again, I think that's where it is. And when I look at the internet, it's like, or social media, it's algorithm driven, right? So the women who are going to get the most likes are going to pop up on your feed the most. And it's a lot of times it's not going to be that good, wholesome girl that you probably want. No,
now exclude the social media and go back to like the dating pool.
Yeah.
The dating, let's say the dating apps, to the Tinders, to the Bumbles, to the, I don't say POF. POF is a different...
You're dating yourself now.
It's a different world and stuff.
It's a
let's
different
say
world
Tinder, Hinge, and Bumble. Right?
Yeah. Those are the three top dogs.
Three top dogs and stuff, whatever, right? Now
no Ashley Madison? Is that still
income?
That's okay.
I think it's income because a lot of security features and certain things and stuff changed. I heard.
Right.
That's the reason why they're still in business. They lost a chunk of people.
Yeah.
But definitely for that, whatever. And I'm looking at stuff as where now, let's say the Bumble and to the Hinge.
Right.
I want to feel it's kind of like still more tailored to like, I might be socially awkward in public, or I might know if you're single in public.
Right.
So I'm going to sell myself on a profile, and then the Tinder, I guess, like, I don't know what it is now because I don't really do internet dating, but I look at it stuff as where that might still be kind of pinnacle for hooking up.
Okay.
So like, let's say you just want to meet somebody for the moment, see where things can go, more lean on the Tinder side. You want to see if you can possibly find and build with somebody,
more
Bumble and a Hinge.
Okay.
I know, let's say, and
don't mean to cut you. Now, the Bumble and the Hinge for men, is that, and I know some of these things are paid services for men, and they'll let the women kind of roam free. No, and some of them they'll have the women.
Everybody pay.
Everybody pay. Okay.
Everybody pay. But the thing is, stuff I think is that what I liked about Bumble at the time was you swipe on a woman, and she swipes on you.
Right.
She has to message you first.
Oh. Okay.
So it won't go into straight message mode and stuff like that. So let's say a woman swiped on you yesterday.
Right.
You swiped on her today.
Right.
You can probably just go into her message box first and be like, hey, what up?
Yeah.
With the Bumble, the woman has to message first.
Why is that? You
Well,
have
because
an idea
I
of
think
why?
they want to give women a little bit more of the power
Okay.
to kind of like, I want to say, be more in control of the situation.
Right.
Because if the woman might not like it, I don't know what it looks like from the female side.
Yeah.
To say like, clothes and nothing like that, but like, it's up to them to start the conversation. But most of them, they start a conversation the ones I've seen or happened to me, it just said, hey.
Because they're not genuine conversation starters.
No, exactly. Yeah. But then when it comes to the other side now, like I seen it on Tinder and stuff, and I'm like, hey, all you're gonna say is, hey? Wow, you're some kind of guy. So I'm looking like, whoa. How's life been treating you? What the fuck?
Right.
But that's what the fuck in my head.
Right.
It's like, typical guy. I ain't seen no message from this chick for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, I think I open up the app. Are you gonna? She's like, how's today going? Let's see how you start this conversation off, whatever.
Wow.
So I'm looking like, Clay, you're bitter. And I'm gonna fall back. And I'm gonna unmatch.
She's bitter.
But I look at it as like, yeah, part of the conversation starters and stuff for women, they're not really that high. I think even some women think traditionally, in the traditional sense, for men to still approach them first.
Okay.
Right? But I look at it as where if we're speaking about DEI and equality, equity, and all this type of shit, if a woman finds a man attractive, go approach him.
And I agree 100%. And I was gonna say, even when I was at the club, just observing the room.
Did you get approached?
No, I got stares.
You got stares.
But I didn't get approached.
You had your ring on.
I had my ring on. Good so that's possibly why I didn't get approached.
Good for you.
Right? But I've seen, like, I was there and I've seen men shoot their shot. But I just seen women just partying with each other. So I'm like, either they're there to just party, or they find nobody attractive. We're in this day and age where you scream equality, but some things you still won't want to be equal with. They don't know what they want. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
They don't know what they want. You didn't hear it again? Mic check 1, 2. I don't think they know what they want. I feel like I agree with you to say this in overall the close.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel like there's more bitter women out there. I do feel like there's more bitter men coming up now because like even with the rise of like incels and stuff like that as well.
Right.
That's part of the bitter men population. Half and half to like the red pill theory people. Because I look at the stuff as where like there's some women on the red pill world as well, but then I think they go to the name just pearly things. The bunny with the red hair, the ginger.
Yeah.
And stuff like whatever about like men and equality and the shit they put up with women and everything like that. I feel like the landscape has changed drastically and more men are vocal.
Right.
Hell, I heard one woman say stuff like, we don't need no more men with podcasts. We don't want to hear about men's feelings no more. And I was like, that's bitter shit.
That is bitter shit.
It's bitter shit. But so
well, you're gonna hear our shit. Whether you like it or not.
We popping that shit over here.
Uh-huh.
All right. Next poll of the week was, who is more loved by the hip-hop community? We spoke about this on the previous show. Not this last show. Was it? Or the show before? It was recently, though. Recently, we spoke about it, but it was just more of a conversation between us and the listeners and stuff at the time.
Right.
But it wasn't for the general public.
Right.
So I didn't really want to poll the question and stuff at the time, whatever, but then I realized that the Carter 6 had dropped.
Okay.
Right? And when I started hearing the downpour of piss they've been giving Lil Wayne,
yeah,
I was like, it's only right to poll the question now.
Okay.
So what do you think the answer, like who do you think who's more loved by the hip-hop community?
Did we give any specific names, or was it just
the choices were Lil Wayne and Jay-Z?
Choices were Lil Wayne and Jay-Z. I'm still say Lil Wayne.
60% said Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
And 40% say Jay. Go ahead.
And I think it goes back to what I was saying before. I think not that he's in any way, shape, or form a better rapper, because I don't think he's a better rapper than Jay-Z.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's more of the aspect of the hip-hop community might find him more relatable.
Right, you did say that before.
Yeah.
They can't relate to Weezy on this album though. Like what?
No, it's not. No.
Okay, let me say this. For the amount of songs, okay, have you heard the album? Or not?
I heard, I want to say maybe the first 3 or 4 songs and then
tapped out?
I tapped out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I looked at it stuff as for me, I have so many like layers of Lil Wayne that I know of what I've seen, like from, let's say the Rebirth,
right?
The Rock album,
yeah,
to even the other different Carters and stuff like that, where his type of flow may be like melodic or like on point, whatever. Like again, his lyrical miracle to me is still 6 foot, 7 foot,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And when it came to like the what is it? Is it Weezy with the hip hip, that song, the Island Holiday?
Okay, yes.
The Island Holiday track. I already know that song, but then again, they call me white boy, right?
Right.
So I'm looking when I'm hearing this and stuff, whatever, and he had the little bar for it, whatever. I was like, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see what you did.
Yeah.
But the people that don't know, like one person said like, it was trash, a dumpster fire to them, whatever. I said, but Lil Wayne has been giving you nothing but greatness and stuff, whatever. And he took time from the 5
right
to Carter 6.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? So it's kind of like his world has probably changed so much.
Of course.
And he's seen so much and he's not pigeonholed by a genre. I'm like, I thought Queen Beyonce set a tone for that we shouldn't be pigeonholed by a genre.
Yeah.
When we have Andre 3000 playing musical instruments over here, and we have Weezy over here rapping with hip hop and rock.
I think with the Weezy, I think a lot of it is just like you're saying. He's grown. He's experimenting with new stuff. Oh, he's always been an experimentalist, but you can tell that he wasn't trying to do the same hip hop albums that he was before. You can tell by the features that he's had on this.
But you're right. But I look at it stuff as where. What would you consider like a typical hip hop album out of Lil Wayne's repertoire?
Oh, I think a lot of people were hoping that they would get mixtape Lil Wayne. This Carter 6.
Really?
I think so.
It's the last time Weezy even touched a mixtape.
But that's what I'm saying. And he's been so far removed that when they come back, they're gonna like, oh, he's gonna come back with the hip hop heads. Because a lot of people who I found with the disappointing comments were those who I would consider to be like hip hop heads. I don't think like the and I don't want to say casual fan, but the fan that listens to not only hip hop but explores other genres, such as yourself, right? They can now say,
I'm the white boy.
You're the white boy. They can now say, okay, I can see where this album's going, and I can see why certain features are on this album and what he was trying to do with it. With the Andre 3000 in the Flute album, he let you know off the jump that you're gonna get flute. Right? So if you're expecting me to rap my ass off, no, brother. You're gonna get the Zamfir special. That's coming from me. Beyonce, she let you know off the rip. I'm gonna do a country album. So, and I just think if Wayne just said, you know what, it's gonna be different from my last few albums.
Oh, like if he like kind of gave it like
if he prefaced it.
Fair.
Yeah.
See, I look at this stuff as
because that's always been the complaint about Drake, right? It's like, oh, you put too much love songs on this album, but that's what Drake does. Like Drake is not just a hip hop artist, so if you're expecting him to drop a hip hop album all the time, that's not gonna happen.
I feel like if you're entrenched into the street, I might expect that.
Yeah.
If you're not entrenched into the streets,
yeah,
I wouldn't expect that. Just in general, because I look at this stuff as where. Let's say like, and this was always the thing, like when it came to like Drake not writing his rhymes.
Right.
I feel like in the beginning, he was.
Right.
And then when you're kind of removed from the streets or removed from like the starter money to now you're making like money or you're seen more, your world is different now. So I don't expect them to be rapping about the streets. Now I feel like if you're not really like, let's say transcended to another level and stuff, whatever, with like your music touching to and fro.
Right.
Like, I don't see it, whatever. Because I look at it stuff as like, all right, look how many years and stuff we had the Locks and like Locks and Mariah, Jenny from the Block types, like them just doing that type of stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like they've made enough money and stuff in the streets.
Right.
But like they probably haven't fully transcended over into the pop world.
Right.
So I don't expect their music to be too much different from that.
From that.
Right. Lil Wayne has reached success from like features of like rock songs to other shit, other people. So I look at stuff as like,
how huge was Mrs. Officer?
Right.
Yeah.
But even that's R&B though, whatever.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Because but I look at stuff as like even like let's say something like Pick Up the World and stuff, whatever, right? Where him and Eminem rapping on a rock song.
Right.
I look at it stuff as where if you're giving me this in the past, how the fuck can I expect something of the classic you in the future?
Yeah.
When you've already shown me you want to rock out what's your, So something I'm like, why would you expect that? But I saw some reviews like, I saw one. I had to screenshot this shit. They said, this came from TotalExperimenting.com. Critics point out the album is all over the place, from rock, rap, misfires to bland trap beats and lacks cohesion. I was like, Bumbleclot.
And I can say I felt that. I'm be honest. I can feel like it's not to me like the songs were bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was the cohesion for me. It's like it's like you can have different stuff, but there should be something like a flow to it, right? And it just seems like they just sat down and said, okay,
pick this track, pick this track, pick this track.
Right.
But then what I've seen this stuff is like some tracks even had like 2 producers or something like that, whatever. Like I think it had over 20 producers on there. For the amount of songs it had, it had over 20%. So I mean, you had producers combining with other producers on one track. So I looked at it stuff, I was like, I felt like when you said the cohesion thing, I feel like it was overproduced.
That could also be a thing, yeah. Okay. That could also be a thing.
Yeah. Because I was looking at it, was like, sometimes like, all right, I know this Jay Electronica song.
Yeah.
And it starts off like with this wicked ass beat. I can't remember, I think, say Swiss probably did it. The first piece, and the second part switched to Travis Scott, and I'm like, why do we need a Travis Scott part? Let's just stick with that. So, and the song is so short in itself, like, we've been wrong.
Speaking of Travis Scott, have you heard the clip stuff yet?
What, the new clips?
Yeah.
Well, the only just heard Ace Trumpets.
Ace Trumpets?
Yeah.
Oh, so you haven't heard So Be It?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
So Be It and stuff, whatever. I think at the time, but I heard about So Be It, it was through like passing from conversation with somebody.
Okay.
But Ace Trumpets I love because it showed more of that neck and wrist type of style of Pharrell's production.
Right.
Because it was dark and gritty and like villain-like.
Yeah.
Because and I like how like No Malice and Pusha came on the track.
Yeah.
Because look at this stuff, it's a subtle flex from the shadows. That's what the song felt like. Ace Trumpets.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. And then they're like, oh, when I heard about that one, I'm like, I didn't get to that one.
Yeah.
I saw it, but I'm like, I'm going to take it in on a different time because I heard about it earlier within this week.
I took it in yesterday.
Okay.
I like it. I think it's dope. Ace Trumpets, I only heard snippets of it. I haven't heard that full.
The full song?
Yeah, I haven't heard that full.
Okay. Yeah. I still feel like you guys shitting on my guy Hove and stuff on the polls though, whatever, because I look at it stuff as where at the end of the day, you guys will claim, and I say it, you guys and stuff, whatever, not anybody in specific, but people will claim that Wayne is loved more than Jay-Z, but yet and still, again, like not even just the ridicule about this, but then no one petitioned and fought for Wayne when it came to him not doing the Super Bowl. Even his concert that he had online didn't garner that many views compared to like Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us fiasco when he did the Juneteenth concert, right?
Yeah.
Last year. Happy Juneteenth to the ones that still believe in it, even though your president said he can't, your king said you can have it, right? But I look at it stuff as where Jay is at this point where even if you didn't fuck with his music, or like I had a lot of friends and stuff, whatever, that were anti-Jay-Z.
Right.
Yet they're agreeing with Jay-Z later in their life. So in their heyday when we were younger, they wouldn't even say like, they wouldn't call me like a Jay-Z dick rider, but they would say some shit like, I don't know why you got Jay-Z's overhyped and da-da-da and all the above. And the same people are coming back and be like, yo, Jay-Z said this bar.
Yeah.
I heard this Jay-Z bar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think they were more in their feels
right
to really appreciate Jay-Z as a musician.
Yeah.
And then now we're looking like on a cultural aspect, he's married to their god.
Right.
Queen
right.
Bee.
Yeah.
Right? So I look at it stuff as where Hove himself have a little covenant and stuff whatever from just the, I guess like the Black Kennedys that they've created. And to the point where most Black people tend to respect a person on their money, but then they're looking at Hove and stuff and they're starting to respect him on like a different kind of level and stuff, not the ones that know him.
Right.
Right? I think because he was so much older than Beyonce, I think a lot of his peers and people around that time and stuff, whatever, they don't make as much noise as like Beyonce's fan where her demographic and stuff constantly changes and it's more to a younger ear.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, my mom listens to Beyonce.
Right.
I'm going to listen to Beyonce.
Right.
I'm going to play Beyonce. And if I have kids, my kids might dance to Beyonce.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that where like, how many people are really spinning old Jay-Z tracks and stuff besides the core Jay-Z fans?
Core Jay-Z fans.
But he doesn't even make new music like that.
Well, and I think maybe that might be part of the issue is that he does not make new music like that. Like when he did 444, people we were blown away. Like it's like, okay, this is what we expect from a rapper when they reach a certain stage in their life. This is what we want to hear as grown men because we've reached a certain stage in our life.
Not the Lil Wayne, Carter 6? But you've seen a lot.
Some of the stuff I couldn't relate to what he was rapping about. I'm gonna be honest. Some of the stuff I couldn't relate to what he was rapping about, right?
That's fair.
And I see some of the stuff that Jay-Z is rapping about on the 444. As a grown man, I can see it, right? Like
no, 100.
I can see specific issues he's talking about.
Families.
Right.
Nobody wins at the family feuds.
Yeah.
Like, legacy about his children.
But then now, Jay, you gave me that. I want more of that. But now you're not giving me no more of that.
So and that's what so you and I, we speak about passing the power.
Yeah.
I do feel and stuff, whatever. And I'm not, people gonna say because I'm a Jay-Z fan anyway. I feel like Jay has created a space now, whatever, where he's just really trying to pass the power.
Okay.
Because I look at it stuff as where if he's doing features on a track, then I think that's what it is. But I feel like it has to be worth the king to step off his throne,
right,
to grab a mic on your shit. So I don't feel like he's in a space where if him being a billionaire, how could you go to a billionaire and be like, yo, Jay-Z, here what? I'm gonna pay you $10 million for a track.
No.
That's not gonna phase a billionaire.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
And I feel like
at this point, he's got whatever he does, he's doing it out of love.
Like, yeah, it has to be out of love
he's
and
doing
stuff,
it
or respect.
Love. Or yeah.
And I look at it stuff as like something like Neck and Wrist. Like going back to Neck and Wrist.
Right.
Yes, him and Pusha has done tracks like Drug Dealer Anonymous and something like that before Neck and Wrist.
Yeah.
But I look at it stuff as where he had to respect Pusha enough to not only fuck with Pusha and stuff because at the time he was a Kanye's artist, but lyrically to that level.
Yeah.
To even come back on another track to like Neck and Wrist now.
Right.
To now, both of them massacred. I still feel like Pusha still kind of killed him more than Jay.
Yeah.
But Jay's double and triple entendres always has me wild.
Always.
Right?
Yeah.
The phase I'm on love, I wouldn't believe it either because phase on love was talking shit about him.
Right.
And I'm looking like, there you go. But you got to look at it stuff as where if he's stepping off like, the throne to come jump on, it's respect type of thing because there's a track I've heard and stuff, whatever, the Harder They Fall soundtrack.
Okay.
It was executive produced by Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Right? There's a track on there with Jada and Conway the Machine and Jay-Z. I would never think Conway the Machine would be on a Jay-Z song today.
Right.
Griselda.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So when I'm looking at it stuff and I hear the track and I wait how the cohesion, talking about cohesion again, how it all worked and just worked smoothly for all three of the artists and stuff, whatever, I was like, what a hell of a feeling to say, I got a Jay-Z song, you don't, as Conway the Machine.
It's a big feeling.
I feel like Hove is still King Hove.
No, yeah.
So I look at it stuff as like, I don't think he'll be bigger than Weezy in the hip hop community to me.
And again, for me, it just boils down to relatability. Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, and I think if he was more and it's not even from a standpoint of constantly putting out music, because I don't even really think that he has to do that, right? But he's become very reclusive.
Yes.
And I think that's what just makes the hip hop community be like, hip hop community still wants to be able to say they can touch you, say that, they can send you a message on Instagram, say that they can this, that. With Jay-Z, it's like, you gotta know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody
I think
to get on the radar.
The day is the funniest thing in the world when I heard Jay-Z was on Instagram.
It's the funniest thing in the world.
Because I heard he was on Twitter first,
Yeah.
way back then and stuff, whatever. I think that's when Funk Flex and him were beefing and stuff, whatever, right?
Right.
And Funk Flex like, you're nothing. You think you're better than me? He's dropping bombs on a conversation. I was like, shut up, Flex. Just calm down. Have a cookie, keep quiet, and we'll call it a day and stuff. And Jay barely said shit on his Twitter.
Right.
Right? For him to come on Instagram, the only person Jay-Z is following is his wife.
His wife. And he was on Instagram all for about what, a day?
One commercial. The commercial for that Jesus movie, the prophet with Lakeith Stansfield.
And then he was out.
And I'm looking like, this guy.
And then he was out.
The internet is a scary place, though.
It is, man.
I thought it was for me, whatever. It's not really for me. I like the information of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like the conversations that do spark.
Yeah.
But I look at it stuff as where, from what I can just control and read, and hopefully I understand it might not be biased, I'm with it.
Right.
But then everybody and their granny has 2 cents or 10 cents to kind of put into even one debate. Even I look at it stuff as where even our Ask the Sons questions.
Right.
I gave somebody Ask the Sons question in a room of people that I was with, and everybody had a different side or angle and stuff to one particular question.
Right.
And I was like, experiences.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But then the room tried to make it seem like, politically speaking, it is this way. And another half of the room is like, no, you guys are assholes. It is this way. And I'm looking like, but you guys are both right.
You're both right.
And this is just people I can touch in proximity.
Yeah.
Now, let's multiply this by the tens and the millions on a social media platform for one debate that's probably seen by a good amount of eyes.
I find myself lately, when I'm on Instagram, unfollowing.
Talk about that.
I'll scroll and certain things I'll see and I won't unfollow right away, right? But if it's like
the new consistency,
2 or 3 that I see and I'm like,
you weren't a fan of,
I don't rock with your point of view no more. I don't want you to. I don't want to see no more of your stuff in my timeline, and I unfollow.
I can respect that.
Yeah,
because still you protecting your peace.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's fair. Let's go. I do want to say a sincere apology to, I'm not bigger than anybody, about how I said last week that, U.S. might back Iran on this conflict. And you have Senator Ted Cruz go on friggin' Tucker Carlson.
Tucker destroyed it.
And then made the man say that U.S. is aiding Israel to bomb Iran. And
did you see when the evil grin kicked in on Tucker's face when he knew he got him?
He bait switched him perfectly. But I think, and just me, I do believe the stuff that most of the senators, I'm going to say Congress people in general, if they know there's going to come a point in time with a mic plugged into their face from them just doing their job, you have to be media trained.
Have to.
You need media training.
100%.
I look at it stuff as, if you're a Republican, you need somebody to train most of the Republicans in Congress or the House.
Yeah.
Senators who I don't give a damn.
They need it should be a class. It should be a classroom of them sitting down and somebody saying, okay, this is what and what not to say, this is what to look out, because you're right. They have to be media trained.
You should have, like, I gotta look at it stuff as where a person such as Tucker Carlson has been, I'm gonna say, like a right-wing player for some time, right?
Yeah.
From the Fox News and stuff, whatever, Republican, red, and all that type of stuff, whatever, right?
Right.
But he's still a journalist.
Yeah.
And I want to say...
Well, not to mention the fact that he kind of left Fox because he felt like they were pigeonholing him.
Mm-hmm.
So if he was right-wing and he left somebody who was for you because he felt like they were pigeonholing him, that might be somebody you got to look out for.
Well, okay, look at it like this. Don Lemon was left wing.
Right.
I think Don Lemon was like from being black to being gay, certain things and stuff about him and his I guess more liberal speech,
right,
and everything, and free speech and stuff when he was on CNN at the time was to that. Both respectable platforms or networks at their own reasonable same time.
Yeah.
Where's Don now? Well, even the first, I think he had an interview with Elon when X became X. Elon's like, I don't like these questions. I'm falling back. And they pulled the funding.
Right.
Where's Don now? Mm-hmm. Tucker is still grinding. Tucker's out here talking Putin. He's out here.
Tucker's grinding.
So I look at it stuff as where you can't expect to take someone like Tucker Carlson as a regular media, I can't answer these questions to type of thing. Because one, he has his own network now.
Right.
So this network / podcasting and stuff, whatever, it's kind of like a no holds bar regardless.
Yeah.
The minute you want to start falling back or retracting and stuff, once you get on this landscape now, whatever, you're demonized.
Mm-hmm.
Senator Ted Cruz and stuff, whatever, got screwed and he let the cat out the bag. And this week has been a lot of the don't start no shit, won't be no shit. And you'd be like, if you're bad, come touch me. Yo, I like Iran's energy. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm not going to lie to you either. I respect what they're doing. Yeah, I don't expect anybody to be bullied or laid down.
Yeah. So, like I said, I do apologize. I'm sorry. I don't always have it right.
We don't always have it right.
No, but I'm a big man to admit it.
Yes,
so.
yes.
Another thing I wanted to talk about was Cam Newton. So about shift gears real quick. Cam Newton and K. Michelle sat down.
Right.
And I got wind of their interview through somebody that I know. And we've been having a debate because he sent, a friend of mine sent me the clip.
Was it the one that Shade Room posted?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I think that's why I seen
when she was crying?
Yeah. So they led up to that part. So I think it was like 3 or 4 slides.
Okay.
But it began where she was asking him about, his why would he want to make so much
broken homes? Okay,
yeah.
So he started from there. Okay, so I saw a good chunk of it with her. Because I was very much early in the beginning.
Right.
Because I wanted to make sure and stuff that whatever I'm gonna speak about, I should know about, right?
Yeah.
She got into it with the broken homes aspect and stuff, whatever. And she started shedding some tears. And I gather that she's like single. She's trying things and stuff, whatever, but she's not locked in and stuff, whatever, from the kind of the most of the podcast or the interview that I've heard.
Right.
When she's speaking about black men or black affluential men not protecting the black woman, I had a slight problem with that.
Okay.
Right? But I wanted to hear his take and stuff on it. And I'm going to still say this. A white woman's tears is way heavier than a black woman's tears. I understand the weight of a black woman's tears because I love black women.
Right.
And I would love to protect black women.
Right.
So for her to make a statement and say, the black men aren't supporting the black women, I'm going to disagree with that and say, it's the black women choosing the wrong black men.
Well, it just goes back to what I was saying earlier with the whole dating thing.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Right. I knew we were going to cycle back around
I was going to come back to it.
Because I look at it stuff as like everybody has choices, right? And I look at it stuff as where she stated numerous times that her mother and father are married for how many amount of years to this day and stuff for her, and why they can't find anything like that, whatever, right? But then when you're hearing about her past and certain things and stuff, whatever, she liked the money, she was a stripper at a time and stuff, whatever, and she do what she had to do and everything. Some of these things, it's the same way like when it comes to like Cam Newton on the other side, like how like they look at him and stuff like he has multiple baby mothers, so many kids. Some of your events of the past shape and mold why you can't find somebody in the present nor the future.
Right, right.
And I think that's where the accountability aspect and stuff, where I feel like certain black women, if they feel like how K. Michelle feels, I look at stuff as where you can't look at a rapper to say that this might be an ideal person to properly have babies with. And I'm not shitting on rappers.
No.
But I look at stuff as like, some of these rappers start off young.
Right.
You're a young guy with jewels, money. They want you to go to here, to and fro. There's tons of women throwing themselves at you and everything like that, whatever. Certain things you're going to take for granted until you realize this is real.
Right, right.
You can't expect every rapper to have this kind of ideology. You get me?
Yeah, no, I get it.
So I look at it stuff as like, yo, these are your choices, boo.
Right.
Whatever, right? And I look at it stuff as where I've been having conversations with other black women throughout the course of the week.
Okay.
Be like, do you feel like black men don't protect black women? Like, and why?
Right.
And a lot of them and stuff is like, no, I get how it could be hard for some men and stuff out here in today's times.
Yeah.
It's not easy being a man and stuff like that, whatever. But I look at it, and one woman said, she looks at it where when you see a lot of black men, I guess, making wives into a lot of the bunnies.
Right.
Or the non-blacks and stuff and everything like that.
Right.
It feels the type of way because consider the fact they came from a black mother. I said to them and stuff, I was like, you have to understand the world you kind of create, like a black mother kind of created for their child.
Yeah.
Right? What's your wife's movie? Finding Forrester.
Yes, Finding Forrester.
Finding Forrester and stuff, whatever, right? That mother did whatever it took for her son to go to an affluential school.
Right.
To get a better chance at life.
Right.
The demographic might not be too high in the black populace that might be into the things that this man might be in, or this young boy might be in.
Yeah.
Anna Paquin was the girlfriend interest, whatever, right?
Right.
She was a white woman.
Yeah.
It happens. If you're creating a better life for your child and stuff, whatever, and you're taking your kid out the hood, how many, you think the population of blacks might be vast to where you're, moving on up to?
And that's the ideology. I mean, we spoke about this, I think, sometime last year when we were saying how these guys, they've been to probably more country clubs than cookouts when they've gotten to a certain stage in their career. They're not around the same circles.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we expecting them to you want them to go back to the hood and hang out to the hood to find the love of their life? Like, I don't see that. I don't see that happening.
It could happen.
It could happen, but I don't see that happening.
No, I get it.
The flip side of it,
these
affluential men, a lot of them didn't just become affluential in their last 4 stages or 4 years of college of their life. A lot of them were like that from high school, but you didn't want that nerd. He wasn't flashy enough for you.
So and that's part of the reason why I was looking at someone. I was like, if this man has left his ilk, I'm always going to fuck with that word. If he's left his original elk to go graze on other types of elks world, where like he's now in, like, I look at it as check this. If I'm a black guy who likes to surf, not too many black people know how to swim, general. Now, not too many black people and stuff might even like the art of surfing.
The odds get cut down even further.
The odds get cut down even further now, to a point now to say I might find a female black surfer who might find me remotely attractive.
Might find me attractive. That's if she don't find the white surfer attractive.
Okay, because she's like, oh, I knew Chad since we were 12, and Chad's been my guy all my life. He introduced me to surfing. So now you got Sharkeisha out here on the surfboard. You know what I'm saying? Sharking it up on the waves. So I look at it stuff as like, yo, it's to their world and how these people find these people.
And you're gonna love who you want to love, man.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
I think that's the key thing, right?
No black woman should feel like they're not protected by a black man where, because you seen this guy wifed up a non-black woman, he doesn't protect black women or something, or he, you know what I'm saying? Or most men, that don't speak for most men.
No.
I've said it before. I said, I don't care what you've done for the black community. The biggest injustice you could do to the black community is not marry a black woman.
Right.
Right? But I look at it stuff as like, me saying this and stuff, whatever, I feel like that should be a statement towards a black man wanting to protect a black woman.
Right.
To see a woman come out there on like even Cam show or other women to agree with her, like, these black men don't protect us. I'm like, how, Sway? I have nieces, I have sisters, I have a mother.
Yeah.
All I try to do is make sure they safe and they good.
Yeah.
Fuck you mean?
Yeah.
Why do you think they think like that?
I don't know. I don't know why they think that, to be completely honest, Marv. But it's sad because, like I said, if you're looking in a similar place and you're getting a similar result, it's time to look somewhere different.
Facts.
It's time to look somewhere different.
Absolutely.
And going back to the analogy of the rapper, okay, you want something that's outside of what a traditional rapper or what we consider a rapper's repertoire would be. Maybe look for a black country singer.
Beyonce know a few.
Beyonce know a few.
Yeah.
But you can't expect, and I'm saying, and I'm probably living by example, because I always say I found my wife looking for somebody different.
You found your wife looking for somebody different. So
I dated a specific type of girl.
What kind of girl was that? Describe the older women you were into. I'm curious.
The ones that were all about, the
three color hairs?
Yeah.
Three color weaves?
The clubbing, the doing this, that, and the third. But that was part of my life because I was a DJ and that's all I would see. So that's all I would approach, right? But then I was like, no, I don't have to be confined to this world.
Agreed.
Let me step out of this world. And I literally looked at my wife and I said, okay, she's beautiful. And she's like, she in jeans. She got a polo shirt on back in the day, when they used to wear the polo shirts on and then they hang out. It's like,
yeah.
She's not overly dressed. She's being modest right now. And
so,
I'm like,
genre-wise, music speaking, were the women back then more of a dance hall or more of a hip-hop kind of thing? And then would your wife be considered more of but she's a saint. So would a gospel kind of genre?
No, because she's big in hip-hop and R&B, which was part of my world.
So what would make her different from the rest of the women that you were talking about?
She just wasn't somebody who went out all the time.
Okay. But I feel like there's still women and stuff, whatever. They're like, so you're saying stuff, they're more, you didn't like a club or a socialite type of...
And it's not to say that I didn't like a club or a socialite, and it's not to say that I probably couldn't find my wife in that situation, right? But there was less of my wife in that situation.
Gotcha. So you went...
So it would have took me probably searching to find what I found. Right.
Compared to if you just left that pool, or you left that area to go find in another...
Exactly.
Gotcha. I get it. That's fair. Okay. Well, that's kind of straightforward right there.
Straightforward.
My last question to you is, do you believe the black women of today respect the black men of today?
Some.
Some, are we saying a 50-50? Or are we looking at there might be a top heavier half?
I want to say probably a 45-55, with the 45 being the one that they respect.
Interesting.
And I say that because they recognize that there's still good men out there,
Mhm.
but a lot of times that good man has a good woman already.
So then would they still have hope, I guess? To say like, you know, there might be a possibility.
I think they should still have hope, but that hope is going to take you changing your mindset.
That's Dr. Love over here.
It's going to take changing your mindset. You know what I mean?
Okay, I see that. I'm not mad at that, man. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, it is top heavier than the other side, but the ones that don't, because I think it comes to a point where, for me, I look at it as if it has to be a level of accountability,
Right?
kind of come in and stuff, whatever, to say like, I'm not respecting this person because they did such and such to me.
Yeah.
It should be like, I'm not respecting this person because I heard, or this is what I've been told.
Right.
And actually witnessing it for yourself.
Right.
Right. And so there's a lot of that bad rhetoric that goes out there about men.
Yeah.
That a lot of women are just trying to just avoid completely. Right. But I'm looking like, yeah, but that's not all men are toxic. Not all men are this, not all men are cheaters, not all men are beaters. But again, it's the type that they like. And because of that, they're pigeonholed to kind of look and there, and then they're like, why is this guy beating me? Why is this guy cheating on me? Why is this guy doing this to me? Leave. Accountability. See? And that's the part.
And if you're not leaving, if there's something in that, person that you see, you feel like you can give it time to cook, then by all means. And I say that we'll go back to the Jay-Z whole example, right? With the whole Solange slapping him up in the elevator, the
bicycle kick,
the Becky with the good hair comment. Then again, 444,
the Beyonce album,
he addressed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't heard nothing bad about it in his relationship since.
I think in general, we have to give people, or to say, we should give people the grace to grow.
Yes.
Because I look at it stuff as like, yeah, eventually that boy has to become a man.
Eventually.
And eventually that girl has to become a woman.
Eventually.
Right? I look at it stuff as where you can't expect people to kind of match where you are when you see them.
Right.
So if you're the elevated man or the healed and evolved woman, and you see somebody that might fit like your characteristics of what you might like in a person, if they're not on the same level where you are, then you have to keep looking.
Right.
You can't expect that to just drop in your lap, but that type of particular person to drop in your lap.
Yeah. Unless, you're a woman that's looking for a project.
Home improvement. All right. Fair. That's fair. It's a question of the week, man.
Question of the week.
Question of the week. If you had the ability to erase bad moments from your memory, would you do it or would you not?
I wouldn't do it.
I said the same.
I wouldn't do it.
I said the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Those moments had to happen.
They had to.
For a reason.
Yep.
And they helped shape and mold.
100%. 100%. Oh, and I there's countless times when I look back at that moment and say to myself, damn, Drew, you definitely grew from that.
What if you had a moment, and being serious, men get raped too? If you got raped,
right,
would you want to erase that rape from your memory banks, your repertoire? Like you were like sexually assaulted by a man.
Right.
Would you want to erase that bad moment from your memory?
No. It'll be a constant reminder of how I got myself in that situation and how never to ever put myself back in that situation again.
I like that. I like that answer. Because I think about like, I I think the one of the artists, former artists from Day 26,
Right.
that's with the Diddy thing, because you know a lot of the Diddy stuff is coming out, right?
Yeah.
Take that trials, and he had a moment where I think he was on a podcast with his mom,
Yeah,
and saying that he was into Dawn from Dirty Money,
right.
and they were together, and I guess she brought him somewhere. I think he said either Diddy gave him something or Dawn gave him something.
Yeah,
And he woke up in a room and stuff, and he had people around him just like laughing at him while he was asleep.
right.
And he just woke up and stuff like hysterical and stuff, right? And so a lot of people allegedly and speculated that, you know, he got found with like, you know, these group of people, right? And Dawn watched.
Right.
I look at it stuff as where what you were saying in that piece, there was a point where you realize like, yo, this might not be an environment for me.
Mm-hmm.
And now after set events took place, not saying it did happen to him or not,
Right.
but it comes to a point of stuff like, I don't never want to be in a predicament like this again.
Yeah.
And if you never had a moment like that and stuff, whatever,
you may not know what to look out for.
there you go. All right. That was simple.
That was easy.
That was easy. Accountability. All right, let's get to the Axe of Sons. First Axe of Sons come from JollyJeanGiant.
Okay, I like that.
What did a minority of idiots ruin for everyone else?
Inauguration day.
Wait, what?
Inauguration day.
Talk about it.
Is that when they stormed? Was it inauguration?
No.
What day was it?
No, it was just the day when Trump was supposed to pass over the power back over to the Democrats.
Yeah. That them idiots ruined that day. It's a tradition. It's a tradition, and not only what is it a tradition, but it's the only time where I think you can look at the two parties and say this is a cordial moment. Like I'm losing gracefully.
Mm-hmm. And Trump did not concede proper or like in that manner.
And that it ruined it, right? Because like think about that. Think about this. If he had done that gracefully, there would have been no talks about Kamala Harris not Kamala Harris. Michelle Obama not coming to his inauguration.
You think so?
I think so. I think it would have been handled different. I think a lot of things would have been handled different. I think that just left a bad taste in the people's mouths.
I can see that point. I wouldn't fully put that on Trump because I look at stuff as where like
no. But I'm calling the people who stormed the idiots.
No. I don't know. Like I look at it stuff as where, let's say this. If this happened every time, like let's say the Republicans are supposed to pass over power back to the Democrats after things have shifted, this was the only time in history that this thing has happened.
Right.
So like if you're looking at like the populace of like the peoples of like of those yesterday's time or yesteryears, yes, this is a small fraction of idiots, even though there were so many of them that were arrested.
Mind you, they got pardoned. All of them.
Right? So, right. I don't know. For me, I thought about it and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Airport security. I feel like think about how many planes go up in the sky every day.
Okay.
And then think about how many, I want to say, terrorist groups have taken over and hijacked airplanes. I would say they're probably less than 300 people.
Yeah.
Right? Like no matter like if it's a group of like 5 or 6 and stuff like that, whatever, less than 300 people, and like how many millions of people have flown from, let's say, the Munich. I'll put the Munich thing because everything ended on the airplane.
Right.
Right? To like even 9/11s and all that type of stuff. It's still a small fraction of idiots that like security game has changed. Like I remember like when I was younger, I used to fly on a plane by my damn self.
Oh yeah? Yeah.
One flash of this, one this. Now you gotta go get finger fucked through TSA.
Well, look at
you have to take off your shoes.
I was about to go back to the dude who had the bomb in his shoe. We wasn't taking off our shoe before that.
Like it didn't go off in his ass. But yeah. Okay. Next question comes from bullet number 9. What is something what is a completely legal thing that says you're a terrible human being?
A completely legal thing that says you're a terrible human being. That's a good one. I'm gonna have to meld on that for you. You got one already for that? Or?
I think people to me, and it happened yesterday and stuff, whatever to me. So I went for a walk. I went for a walk and it was just, I was in my vibe.
Yeah.
I was in conversation and shit like that, whatever. So I was walking with somebody and somebody came by with their phone, playing loud music, no headphones. And I was like, fuck you. You're selfish.
Yeah.
You care about nobody else but you in that zone and stuff like that, whatever. But I'm pretty sure if like somebody, if their loved one was in a moment of like pain and suffering and somebody else came walking through, playing their music loud and shit like that, whatever, but cut the music off. You selfish fuck. You're a completely terrible human being. That's mine.
I was thinking about that. So depending on how loud it is, though, you can get charged for it.
For real?
Yeah. You can't get charged.
Tell me, I'm gonna start calling Crime Stoppers now.
Yeah,
I'm snitching.
And especially if there's a noise complaint and you don't turn it down, you can't get charged for it.
On your phone?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Depending on how loud it is, and if enough people complain about
I
it.
max out the damn volume thing and stuff on this phone.
Yeah,
and I'm walking up and down on Young Street.
But people are not looking because it's a phone.
Yeah,
people are not looking at it as something that can be complained about. But if it's loud enough that it's disturbing other people, and you put a noise complaint, yeah,
a phone can get loud though.
Yeah, it can get loud.
So that's something I'm like, I don't understand. Like, is there like certain decibels that has to pass?
Well, usually you get noise complaints from loud parties or even loud vehicles. Like, because you can't drive with your car too. You can't drive, or you're not supposed to drive with your vehicle. Like,
I've heard that.
Yeah, you can get.
I've heard that. I saw this train horn thing and stuff, whatever.
Right.
And it was like a prank.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want one on my car. Because motherfuckers will sprek a damn train horn. They say, no, that's too loud.
Yeah.
So you're getting not only a disturbing the peace ticket, but the motor, like a motor thing and stuff where no motor vehicle should be loud to that particular level.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that until then. But when you said that, whatever, I was like, okay, sound does play a factor.
I want to say people who drive the regular speed in the passing lane.
Oh, me.
Yeah,
Old me.
Yeah.
Old me.
Old Marv.
Old me is dead and gone. I treat that bitch like the Autobahn now.
Is the Autobahn now?
Fuck you.
Thank you.
Fuck
Thank
Dillinger. Fuck both of y'all niggas. Y'all, you guys attacked me that day. I was like, I thought 120 was doing decent speed. Nah, go faster. I'm still driving according to Ontario. But no, to appease you two?
120 is a decent speed, just not in the passing lane.
My aunties. Awful people. Awful. Yo. What, episode 75? You guys are dicks. Yo, I went home driving that day. I put on some speed when I touched that left lane. I was like, motherfuckers. Okay.
Dillinger was smoother too, because he came with the 75 balloons. Like he wasn't about to start no shit.
Asshole. Last question comes from ShyCutiePie. What was something your ex was really good at?
Fellatio. No, you wasn't ready?
No, because like I have follow-up questions. Like what are you saying? Like your woman's head game is not impeccable?
No, I didn't say hers is bad. But you said what my ex was really good at.
So your woman's not good at that? What is it?
Good at it too, but that's what my ex was good at.
Oh, I would keep it. Okay, so for me, I think non-sexually speaking, whatever, I can go there. I can go there. I look at it stuff as where
right is the spice of life.
Right, he is. We're not downplaying that. Bullet. Managing money.
Okay.
I feel like, yo, a few of my exes,
Yeah.
I thought they had a different religion. I'm gonna say it like that. The way how focused they were when it came to the coins. Because I look at it stuff as where one particular, she said bold and plain out of her mouth. She's like, I don't love men, I love money.
Okay.
And that's a statement.
It's a big statement.
And then another one.
The Bible tell you the love of money is the root of all evil.
And then another one and stuff, whatever I heard make a statement and stuff where like, oh no, I'm seeing how you're gonna spend your money to see if that's enough for you to like take care of me. And I was looking like, yo, they watch money. These two women and stuff in the past, they watch money. And I was looking at it, like managing money and watch the way how they watch money and how they use money.
Yeah.
Was both of their specialties and stuff like that. Okay. Sexually, nothing fancy. Ain't no problem that I ain't getting today. So I look at it like, won't miss them on that level and stuff, whatever.
That one ex, that's all she was good for.
And on that note,
folks.
That's oh, it's time to end it now. We are here at the end.
We're here, man.
We are here. All right. I got Associate the Sons and stuff, and it kind of came to me and stuff, and where is it? Yes. Associate the Sons this week says, if you're a giver, set some limits because the takers don't have any.
So says the Sons.
It pretty much should be self-explanatory and stuff, whatever. But I look at it stuff as where, again, look at the concept of stuff as you're willing to go this far for somebody, would they be willing to do the same?
Right.
And a lot of people who, the helpers that like to help, that like to give and everything like that, they're like, sure, yes, no problem, anything. These takers, they will try to bleed you dry if you don't set proper limits.
They will.
So again, so say the Sons, man. Like, if you're a giver, set some limits because the takers don't have any.
Set some limits, man.
So say the Sons. We are here. Like work for us and stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, peoples. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us.
You know how we do.
On this lovely day. All streaming platforms possible, like we said. You can find us and get us at the socials and stuff. For the good Ask the Sons this week. These questions are real good. Keep them coming. Hit us on the socials and stuff and send your Ask the Sons questions and we can holler at you on the show.
Send them through.
And we appreciate you guys. And thank you again for listening to Podical Sons. Remember, the difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has its limits. Stupidity doesn't. Peace
and love, y'all. Peace and love.
The Podical Sons with Not Your Average Joseph and Sofa King Marvelous.